Hi, ladies. Hi, gentlemen. How are you? This is Roberta Vigilance. If you like the information that I share in this podcast, please support this podcast with a small monthly subscription in order to sustain future episodes. To become a supporter, click on the link that says support this podcast and choose the level of subscription you would like to provide monthly. Thank you for your support. Hi, ladies. Hi, gentlemen. How are you? This is your host, Roberta Vigilance, with Sponsorship Talk with Roberta Vigilance. Today, I am going to share the biggest mistakes made by sponsorship seekers. Also, just to touch on something last week, I spoke on is Anchor the ideal sponsor. Remember that episode? So, one thing I forgot to mention in there when it comes to creating a win-win partnership with sponsor, yes, you have to target your pure demographic, as I mentioned in the last episode. Sponsorship is real when you know it's a true sponsorship. It's when the sponsor pays you up front. So it's not like this where you listen to the sponsor ad, and please do listen to my sponsored ad because it generates revenue. So instead of me waiting for this to happen, right, for you to listen to the ad and then Anchor tallied it up and then Anchor turn around and pays me, instead of that happening in true sponsorship, the sponsor pays me up front. So whether it's monetary or whether it's another type of resource like a product or service, I get those things up front. And the reason why is because I have to pay for other expenses, right? So if it's a musician, if it's the venue, I have to pay for those things up front. So the sponsor needs to pay me up front. And plus I need to activate the sponsorship. So the payment is up front. So that is true sponsorship. And I didn't get to mention that last week. Okay. So just for today, the biggest mistakes, right? One of the biggest mistakes, and this is the ultimate, this is the biggest of the biggest, is really not understanding what sponsorship is, right? If you don't understand something, including sponsorship, there is a communication breakdown, which means the mission will not be accomplished. Now, the question was asked, what are some of the biggest mistakes people make in sponsorship? And the CEO of Bloom Connections of Infinite Brand Engagement, his response was, brand empathy is paramount. Put yourself in a potential sponsor's shoes and be prepared to offer and execute to the level you should or you would expect for yourself. Not giving plenty of lead time and not clearly or truthfully defining your audience and reach are common mistakes. We represent over 120 events and initiatives annually between our 15 event group and initiative partners and have to define, illustrate, and share opportunities months and months, even a year or two in advance. Offering such a variety of content and audiences gives us a bit of an edge as we have something for almost any category of sponsor. We've made mistakes over the years, learned from, learned from them, and evolved. And we've been able to execute more seamlessly across the industries with all of our group partners. And that's Greg Bloom, CEO of Bloom Connections. Now, what Greg is saying, or Mr. Bloom is saying, is that it takes time, right? It actually takes time. And that kind of cross-reference in what's in the book, How to Secure Sponsors Successfully, the third edition revised funding for events, the section that says get rid of these 7 misconceptions. And one of those 7 misconceptions is actually the number 4. Sponsorship is a get-rich-quick scheme. This is not true, the book says. It usually takes 6 months, a year, or longer to build a positive relationship with your sponsor. Time is needed to research and contact sponsors, follow up on those missed calls and out of office replies, and to wait until the budget becomes available. Now, there are more that you can find out, more of the biggest mistakes that sponsorship makers make, and it comes from different professionals, including myself, you'll see there. To jump ahead, I'll share another one with you on the next episode. To jump ahead, if you will like, go to eventsandsponsors.com and search in there biggest mistakes made by sponsorship seekers, or actually biggest mistakes sponsorship seekers make. Either one. I think once you search and you go to eventsandsponsors.com and you search mistakes, you'll see the blog. So I'll discuss a little bit more. I'll jump into another mistake that's made, and I'll actually take that one from the book, How to Secure Sponsors Successfully, 3rd edition, revised funding for events. Thank you for listening, and please remember to subscribe to my podcast. Take care.